Introduce Apurva Bajaj, the Innovation Manager for the Center of Collaborative Adaptive Sensing in the Atmosphere, or CASA as we like to call it, Engineering Research Center at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Now, Apurva is pretty passionate about developing weather sensing solutions, to increase our understanding of the weather and how it applies to airspace. But today, he has orchestrated and will introduce the PitchFest presentation. So if I can pass it on to you, Apurva.
Hi, Wasim.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Great. So we're there, folks. It's after 5 o'clock. It's that time of the day. If you could go back to the previous slide.
Yep.
It's that time of the day when you've sat through presentations for the entire day. You've heard other people speak. You've tried to get a word in after each presentation, but that hasn't really worked. Now you show up at the exhibit hall, and you might be the researcher who has this brilliant idea. You might be a startup that couldn't afford a booth, but wanted to really talk at this conference. So, we said, what can we do for somebody like this, right? So we wanted to have an open mic type situation, right? Where attendees can come and basically stand up and talk about what they're doing and what they would like to get out of this conference and who they would like to partner with. So with that, we've organized this PitchFest. We encouraged all the attendees to submit 3-minute videos, and this was open to everybody. We've got those videos lined up, and we're going to play through them and give you a chance to learn about some of our attendees. My co-host is Amy Fagerland, and she's a project manager with the MassDOT Aeronautics Division, and she manages special projects. And as I introduce our different PitchFest presenters, she's going to play those videos associated with each of them. Now, if you have any questions for the PitchFest presenters, please write to them in the chat window, and they'll reply in the chat window. And then we'll make the contact information for everybody available. Actually, it is already available on the AUVSINE website. So connect with us on LinkedIn and follow along, and you can meet some of these folks personally. So with that, Wasim, can you move to the next one?
Sure.
So these are the companies or organizations or entities that are presenting today. We're going to have 8 pitches today, and then same time tomorrow, we're going to have another 8. So to kick that off, our first talk is from TargetArm. It's by the CEO and founder of TargetArm, Jeff McChesney. It's a Connecticut-based company that is a resident of MassRobotics and Techstars as well. And they have a unique mobile launch and recovery platform for unmanned systems. And we're going to let Jeff take it from here.
Hi, I'm Jeff McChesney, the CEO and founder of TargetArm. Imagine a world where you get a package delivered to your home within 10 minutes of ordering it, and not the normal 2 days. Or that the military didn't have to stop to set up to launch and recover a drone and possibly get shot in the process. And in both those cases, using the exact same solution. That capability is available today. Our device enables launch and recovery of both rotary and fixed-wing drones from any moving vehicle, autonomously, and even during high wind conditions. As can be seen here, our 2 sets of counterposed pin arrays capture the drone from a static position and then release it. And while we're moving, the air goes through the pins. The drone is trying to fly and is unable to until the pins retract, and then it just flies away. The same occurs for recovery. The drone ends up just continuing to fly, the pins captured out of the air, and here we are showing 65 miles per hour. We're dual use capable for both commercial and military, from package delivery to armored personnel carriers, to offshore oil and gas, and the offshore wind farms as our initial targets. We have a $22 billion total addressable market just in the United States, with $5 billion for the military and $17 billion for package delivery, both using a direct sales model. There's no other competing technology when you take a look at the axis about operating at speed, or the other axis operating with multiple drones for both rotary and fixed wing. Virtually all the funding today is occurring down in the bottom left-hand quadrant, and Target owns the top right. Our strategic timeline follows where we can operate today, starting off with the military, then leading into the offshore arena, and then into package delivery over the next 5 years. Our development follows exactly the same timeline, with our minimally viable product due August of 2020. We've got deep industry experience from aviation, from manufacturing, and drones. We've gained significant traction already with contracts with the Air Force, the Army, and BAE Systems. So we're target arm, and we're drones on the move.
Thank you, Jeff. And you can see Jeff's got his information in the chat, and you can reach out to him directly. Next up, I want to welcome back to the stage John Abbey. John Abbey is the CEO and co-founder of SafeFlight. He pitched to us at the last summit meeting as well in 2019. And in the video that he sent to us, you're going to see a lot of improvements that have been made to the drone incident reporting product that they have. John is a former chief of police, and he brings all of those years of experience to this product and to SafeFlight. And this is a product that's much needed by the public safety community. So let's hear from John Abbey.
With a federal mandate to report illegal unmanned aerial activities, our responders face a growing challenge, and SafeFlight has developed an efficient and economical solution. Using visual map technology and guided protocols, SafeFlight allows the air traffic controller or 911 dispatcher to triage incoming UAS drone calls to make the binary decision to dispatch or not dispatch. With SafeFlight, responding officers can validate calls against a database of potential federal, state, and local violations. SafeFlight provides responding officers with focused tools to conduct a comprehensive investigation, including the extraction of forensic data evidence from the offenders. SafeFlight facilitates the collection of information, including statements of victims, witnesses, and offenders, aggregating all data into federally compliant incident reporting. The end product of a SafeFlight investigation is a prosecution-ready incident report that, upon supervisory approval, is distributed to appropriate referral agencies, such as the FAA and local prosecutors. In 2016, the FAA relegated direct response for UAS incidents to state, county, and municipal law enforcement agencies, leaving 500,000 officers with no standardized enforcement or reporting protocols. In 2018, Congress mandated the FAA administrator to initiate mandatory reporting for all drone violation incidents, but law enforcement still lacks the tools to do the job. We believe our turnkey solution is the only one currently being considered to achieve compliance with these mandates. SafeFlight's dual-use technology bridges the current gap in effective real-time reporting between air traffic control and 911 centers and on to civilian and military responders. Via SafeFlight's cloud-based network, connection is instantaneous between all stakeholders with a workstation or a remote smart device. With dozens of exclusive federal, state, and local frequencies in use, SafeFlight provides a configurable universal cloud-based network with prioritized national broadband coverage for real-time incident management and group notifications, reducing the need for each jurisdiction to expend scarce resources to maintain and upgrade aging and often incompatible legacy communication systems. The SafeFlight solution improves communication and expedites response, getting the right resources to the problem and helping to save lives. The need is clear. The technology is here. The opportunity is now.
So many thanks to John for submitting that video. Next up, we have Autonodyne, and we have a software engineer, Cassidy Smith from Autonodyne, making their presentation. She's going to describe their out-of-the-box software solution for control of autonomous vehicles. Autonodyne is actually based right out of the seaport in Boston, and they are a MassRobotics resident as well. So let's hear from Cassidy.
So hi all, my name is Cassidy Smith. I'm a software engineer at Autonodyne. So 2020 has been a challenging year for people all over the world. There's been devastating wildfires in Australia and the west coast of the US. And of course, the COVID-19 pandemic is an unprecedented humanitarian crisis. So more and more people are turning to the idea of aircraft-based solutions like drone package delivery or aircraft-based search and rescue, because aircraft can safely and easily perform tasks that are otherwise difficult to do in the wake of a natural disaster or with COVID. However, there's a lot of different types of vehicles out there, and that makes it difficult for operators to coordinate behaviors between them, since oftentimes you need multiple different platforms to use them. So that's where Autonodyne comes in. We're a Boston-based company, and we have created a software solution that allows a user to control multiple dissimilar vehicles, as well as enable advanced autonomous behaviors. So our main software product, the RCU1000, is a common controller that is vehicle, data link, and message protocol independent. So meaning it can be used out of the box to control any vehicle. And we have integrated our tech with vehicles as small as handheld quadcopters, all the way up to large cargo delivery planes. And so customers don't need to buy any extra equipment to use our product, and any changes that they make to their hardware will not affect our product. So in addition to serving as a common controller, the RCU1000 also provides additive autonomy. So the idea of building layers upon layers of specialized behaviors. And so this includes things such as follow me, to intelligent path planning, collision avoidance, to swarms, and much more. So what previously would take multiple highly skilled operators can now be done by the average Joe. So this can be leveraged across multiple industries, from humanitarian causes like disaster relief to commercial purposes like advanced aerial mobility. So our company's leadership has over 20 years of experience in commercial avionics in the US Air Force, which has allowed us to grow our company to over 20 engineers in the past 2 years, as well as double our revenue each year. So we currently offer the RCU1000 on several platforms. We have the 21.9 Windows platform as a ground control station, and the tablet and Android phone as mobile controllers. We've also started work on a common operating picture-in-a-box, which is a hardware solution that is portable as a portable command station. So simply put, we help people focus on helping each other, rather than the very specific details of managing aircraft.
Thank you, Cassidy. And folks, in the chat, we have Steve Jacobson, who's the CEO and founder of Autonodyne. He's put his contact information there. Feel free to reach out to him. The next video that we have is from an early stage startup from MIT and Harvard, and Michael Mancinelli, who is the CEO of Human Dynamics, will be making this pitch. He's going to talk about Drobot, their solution for helping construction workers and others that have to do dangerous jobs at heights. So let's hear from Human Dynamics.
Hello, my name is Michael Mancinelli, and I'm the CEO of Human Dynamics, and I'm really excited to be here today to talk about our concept. We're working on work at heights, which hasn't changed in decades. Unfortunately, every year there's tens of thousands of injuries and over 1,000 fatalities. This all manifesting itself in tens of billions of dollars of workmen's compensation, as well as lost productivity. It's also expensive in that most lift platforms can cost $10,000 to $100,000 just to get in place, when the tasks themselves are very cheap. And then it's dirty in that a lot of these solutions are carbon emitting. And we sat back and thought that we wanted to rethink this. So we have invented Drobot. It's a combination of 3 technologies. It's a commercial off-the-shelf drone that lets us get to high and hard to reach places. There's a gripping element that allows us to grab onto industrial structures, giving us a stable work environment and extended operation, so that we can get the third component, the end effector or manipulator, in there to actually do the job. We view this as a platform technology that can solve a lot of problems. We have filed a provisional patent and are in the process of filing our non-provisional for this technology. It's cheaper, safer, and cleaner. It can reduce costs by over 50%, removes human from dangerous at height work, as well as removes those carbon emitting solutions from the workplace. We've already done simple proof of concept testing. Here's a drone that lands on an I-beam with a gripper, closes on to provide some stability, uses a pen to draw a dash and straight line, showing that we can do a precise task once we're on the beam. Our plan for this spring is to take this prototype, mature it, and do some pilot demonstrations in the sampling space, roof inspection space, and utility hardware space. We can do all this prototyping amongst our founding team. We've got great people from Harvard and MIT with engineering, business, and industry backgrounds. But we can't do it alone. So far we've been fueled with some non-dilutive grant money, as well as some very generous partners here, both in the Boston area and elsewhere. And we hope to continue those relationships. And if you're interested in working with us, you can join us in reimagining work at heights. You can contact us at contact@humandyne.com. That will end up right in my inbox. I'd love to just chat about the technology or some use cases that you have in mind and see if we can schedule a pilot test with you in the spring. So thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
So thank you, Michael. I'm looking forward to having your product help with cleaning the gutters of my roof. That's gonna keep me out of some dangerous situations. Next up, I'm very excited to have Stephen Ushak. He's a Executive Vice President at ARE Corp. This is a New Hampshire-based UAS services company. And I wanted to give him a shout out for bringing his team together during COVID, along with his Director of Operations, Sam Johnson, and his Chief Pilot and Program Manager, Billy Falmouth. And they put this video together especially for this summit. So welcome to Stephen.
Hi, I'm Stephen Ushak, Executive Vice President of ARE Corp, based here in Hampton, New Hampshire. An engineering technology firm focusing on civil, structural, bridge inspections, bridge management, and other transportation asset management, as well as UAS services, GIS, and software development. We have a number of civil, structural, PE engineers, licensed UAS pilots, and other support folks with special these different areas. Although we are a service provider, one of the areas that we'd like to highlight is our involvement in research and development. With this, we team with and work with many private and public sector agencies and universities to help further the advancement of UAS flight technology and payload and sensors. I'd like to introduce Sam Johnson, our Director of UAS Operations, to elaborate a little more on this.
Thank you, Stephen. So yeah, as service providers in emerging technology markets, we get a lot of unique requests for services that haven't been performed before. So we pride ourselves on being able to develop new processes and procedures, either with off-the-shelf systems, or if they're not available for the task that we're trying to accomplish, we have the ability to design, develop, and implement hardware solutions. And in some cases, we even have to develop our own software to improve the data workflow that we manage. So one on the bench right now, being set up for an upcoming project, is one of our larger systems. I have our Chief Pilot and Program Manager, Billy Falmouth, to talk about this particular project a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Check Sam. Yeah, as you said, my name is Billy Falmouth. I'm Chief Pilot here. We are currently working on the Harris Aerial H6. It is currently equipped with a Phoenix LiDAR system and the ability to swap out a Sony A7R 4 camera. We'll be using this to collect inspection data on a bridge in Philadelphia, and we'll be using semi-autonomous and autonomous flight planning to collect that data, and then we'll be combining the data in post-process to develop new ways to review that data and collect actionable data on the bridge for our clients. With that, Steve, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for inviting us to give a brief presentation about our company here at the AUVSI Robotica. We really appreciate it. Reach out to us with any service or research and development needs. We're more than willing to assist.
Thank you, Stephen. Next up, I have a close colleague and friend, Dr. Michael Zink, Professor Zink from CASA Engineering Research Center. He's the co-director of the center, and he's going to talk to us about a new NSF project, FlyNet, that is basically a workflow management system for UAS and UAM. And you're also going to see some unique work that we're doing at the center around the dynamic routing of drones around weather. So let's hear from Mike.
Hello, my name is Mike Zink. I'm a professor in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Today I'm giving a pitch for the FlyNet project. FlyNet is an NSF-funded cyber infrastructure project that brings together researchers from the University of North Carolina's Renaissance Compute Institute, the University of Southern California's Information Science Institute, the University of Missouri, and UMass Amherst. FlyNet has the goal to create an architecture and the tools that will enable scientists to include edge computing devices in their computational workflows. Our initial focus will be on scientists who perform drone-based research. For example, drones are often used for disaster response and relief operations. These include wildfire detection and extinguishing, emergency response for severe weather, and search and rescue operations. In such scenarios, drones are used to provide aerial footage to emergency managers. Researchers are investigating how real-time video analysis can be used to provide important details detected in the footage and aid in the decisions where drones should be routed. For commercial applications like delivery drones and air taxis, the planning of safe and efficient routes is important. In such cases, researchers are developing real-time drone routing approaches that are informed by current weather observations. Such systems will allow operators to navigate drones safely around weather or aboard missions should atmospheric conditions prevent safe operations. Executing the workflows that researchers require for their emergency management and drone routing operations requires a significant amount of resources. As shown in this slide, the FlyNet architecture and tools will allow researchers to allocate the compute and networking resources required to execute such workflows. This includes 4 major tasks: integration of cutting-edge compute and networking infrastructure, in-network processing, end-to-end monitoring, and leveraging Pegasus workflow management for in-network edge processing. The short movie on this slide shows the outcome of a drone routing workflow based on short-term weather forecasts. The green arrows show 5, 10, and 15-minute short-term forecasts indicating rain. These forecasts are created from actual radar data generated in our testbed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and update every minute. This information is used by the drone routing algorithm to constantly update the route for this specific mission. As we can see, the final route is significantly shorter than the one initially calculated. For further information, visit the project website at www.flynet-ci.org or contact me via email at zink@ecs.umass.edu.
Thank you, Mike. Next up, we have Robin Grace. Robin is a senior program manager from MassDOT Aeronautics, and she's going to talk about a complex project they undertook this summer, flying drones near airports to map obstructions near airports. So handing it over to Robin.
Hello, I'm Robin Grace. I'm the Senior Program Manager for the Drone Pilot Program at MassDOT Aeronautics. I'm excited to talk about our program as well as a recent project we completed for airport obstruction analysis. Our program is focused on leveraging UAS technology for a variety of use cases in support of MassDOT Highway, Aeronautics, Rail and Transit, the MBTA, as well as other Commonwealth agencies, including DCR, MEMA, and Massport. These use cases include inspections, asset management, and incident response. This pitch is focused on our airport obstruction project. Those of us familiar with the New England region know that we have a variety of tall, fast-growing trees. This vegetation presents a problem to Commonwealth airports who need to keep their approach paths clear of obstructions. We are focused on providing data to ensure that airports are in compliance with Federal Regulation 49, Part 77. This regulation establishes standards and notification requirements for objects affecting navigable airspace. We are working with MassDOT Aeronautics and the FAA to utilize drone data as a means to ensure compliance with Part 77 and ensure our approaches are free of obstruction for manned aviation. Not only does this improve safety, it is also cost-effective. Of course, flying in an airport environment invites an extra level of complexity. We developed a system to safely deconflict and communicate effectively in both uncontrolled and controlled airport environments, utilizing an airboss concept. In order to do this, we tapped into the combined 50+ years of aviation experience on our team that includes Air Force pilots, private pilots, and Army UAS pilots. We gained quite an operational history during the summer of 2020 when we completed operations at 28 Commonwealth airports with over 120 drone flights, leveraging 8 FAA airspace authorizations for towered airports, all of which are valid for 2 years. We intend to build upon this operational history and expand into other airport use cases. Thank you for your time and attention today, and I look forward to connecting to anyone who is interested in our program.
Thank you, Robin. The last video we have is from Joyce, and Joyce is from MassRobotics, and a lot of you might be already familiar with MassRobotics. It's a Boston-based nonprofit, and it's the world's largest shared innovation center for robotics startups. Tom Ryden from MassRobotics is in the chat as well to take questions. So let's hear from Joyce.
MassRobotics is a nonprofit organization acting as an innovation hub for robotics, AI, and connected devices. We aim to bring together startups and existing technology organizations to nurture the next generation of robotics. Behind every successful robotics company is an entire ecosystem. That ecosystem needs to be connected. MassRobotics is the connector, the glue, the magnet that brings together that entire ecosystem. We start with, what does a startup need? We bring together the investment community twice a year for our investor demo days that we host here at MassRobotics. It enables the investor community to get a look at what the startups are working on and connect them with potential funding sources. We also connect the robotics companies with potential customers. We do this by hosting very industry-focused events: robotics in manufacturing, robotics in construction, and robotics in defense. These events are meant to bring together end users who have challenges to meet with supporting technology companies that provide solutions for their challenges. We provide the resources that startups need that are capital intensive, that often startups don't have. So hardware resources, including robotic arms and different platforms. We provide software resources for design, such as Autodesk and SolidWorks. We provide connections for our startups in industry through our partners, mentors, in areas that cover anything you might need in a business.
So thank you. That was our last video. And with that, I want to invite you to part 2 of the PitchFest tomorrow, equally fast-paced 3-minute pitches. And just as a quick teaser, there's going to be at least one company tomorrow that's going to enter the UAS space for the first time and make a product announcement. So hopefully you're going to join us today. Thank you to all the presenters today. All their information is available on our website, and you can follow along in the chat and get that too. So over to you, Wasim.
Hey, thank you so much, Apurva. That was fantastic. What a great overview. And I know you had everyone do videos just to make it work, but I think they worked out pretty well. That was fantastic, and it's good to see. It's good to see. I think I knew just about everybody here. It's good to see the progression over the last years or so. That's great. But what a day!